Ask yourself, if they finally woke up tomorrow and didn't need you anymore, would you still have a reason to stay? Or is your entire identity built on the cracks in theirs? You aren't their savior. You're just using their chaos to avoid your own silence. You've spent your life becoming an expert in other people's pain. You can spot a broken soul from across a crowded room, and your first instinct isn't to run, it's to recruit. You tell yourself it's because you're a healer, but there's a darker machinery at work here. Because a person who is whole, stable, and healed has no use for your hero complex. And if you aren't needed, you start to wonder if you even exist. Why do we choose projects instead of partners? Imagine a house that is perfectly built, clean lines, stable foundation, quiet halls. For most, that's a dream. For you, it's a nightmare. Because in a perfect house, there is nothing for you to do. You prefer the ruins. You prefer the flickering lights and the shattered windows. Why? Because as long as you are busy painting their walls and fixing their plumbing, you have a valid excuse to never look at the structural damage in your own soul. Fixing someone else is the ultimate form of productive procrastination. It is a grand, noble distraction that keeps you from the terrifying task of self-confrontation. You aren't being selfless, you are being strategically busy. In the psychology of codependency, we often find what I call the transactional heart. You don't know how to receive love, you only know how to buy it with your labor. Think back to your childhood. Were you the child who had to manage a parent's mood? Did you become a mini therapist before you were 10 years old? If you were raised in an environment where your value was tied to your utility, you grew up believing that love is the paycheck you get for service. So now, as an adult, you seek out the unemployed souls, the ones who are emotionally bankrupt, because they are the only ones who will accept the currency you have to offer, caretaking. You mistake their need for love, and when they eventually start to heal, or worse, when they refuse to, you feel a deep existential panic. If the patient leaves the hospital, what happens to the doctor? This is the most dangerous trap, falling in love with a ghost. You aren't looking at the person sitting across from you. You are looking at a version of them that exists only in your imagination, the 2.0 version, the one who finally stops drinking, the one who finally heals their trauma, the one who finally sees how much you've done for them. You are gambling your present reality on a future that doesn't exist. You treat people like raw materials rather than human beings. But here is the brutal truth. You cannot love someone into a version of themselves they aren't ready to become. By loving their potential, you are actually rejecting who they are in this moment. You are telling them, you are not enough as you are, but I will stay until I make you enough. That isn't love. That's an ego project. Why does healthy love feel so boring to you? Why does a stable partner feel like nothing? Because healthy love requires equality. It requires two people standing on level ground, looking each other in the eye. That requires a vulnerability you aren't prepared for. In a savior-victim dynamic, you are safe on your pedestal of competence. As long as you are the one helping, you are the one in power. Equality is terrifying because it means you can be seen, truly seen, without your tools, without your advice, without your fixing. You choose people who cannot meet your needs so that you never have to admit you have needs. It's a shield, a very lonely, very heavy shield. So, how do you break the cycle? It starts with the most uncomfortable exercise in the world, being useless. The next time you feel that itch to save someone,
to stay up until 3 a.m. solving their problems, to lend them money you don't have, to excuse their toxic behavior because they've been through so much. I want you to stop. Sit with the silence. Feel the panic of not being a savior. You have to learn that you are a human being, not a repair shop. You have to realize that you are worthy of being held, even when you aren't holding everything together. Put down the glue. Let the broken pieces stay broken for a moment. And finally, for the first time in your life, turn all that healing energy toward the person who has needed it most all along. You.